Good morning, America. For our viewers in the West, President-elect Trump with more cabinet picks overnight as he gets ready for his meeting with President Biden. Breaking news. Special counsel Jack Smith planning to step down before President-elect Trump takes office. And overnight, Trump announcing more new picks for his administration, including U.S. Army veteran Fox host Pete Hegseth as Defense Secretary, and South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, plus the role Elon Musk will play.
Take over, Elon, just take over.
As Trump is set to meet with President Biden at the White House this morning.
5,000 acres scorched as firefighters battle the wildfire burning along the New York-New Jersey border. We're tracking the elevated fire danger risk and the new burn ban this morning.
Massive explosion, the investigation after a blast at a Kentucky manufacturing facility.
Plus, the major airline heading towards bankruptcy.
And we're crazy in love with the 500th episode of Dancing with the Stars. Ginger takes us behind the scenes in the shocking end to a fan favorite time in the ballroom. And we're crazy for people's new sexiest man alive, revealed overnight.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Michael, I'm not going to let that go. I am not going to let that go. You're crazy about the People's Magazine's Sexiest Man of the Year.
No, I'm upset because it's not you.
I'm just glad it's the two of you talking about this and not me.
I voted for George. That's all I'm saying. Good morning, America. Can't get everything right, I guess, in life. You know, what a night on Dancing with the Stars. And what a busy morning we have here in Times Square as we get ready for the holiday travel season. We're going to tell you about the TikTok boarding hack that can get you a better seat, or it could get you one in the back of the plane.
And if you are a planner, I see you, I follow your lead, mamas, and we're going to look at why so many stores are offering big sales ahead of Black Friday this year and strategies to help you save on your holiday shopping.
Also had new details on the reopening of Notre Dame. You see it right there. We're there live in Paris this morning. First, the latest on President-elect Trump. He left Mar-a-Lago moments ago. You see it right there as he heads to the White House this morning to meet with President Biden, then to Capitol Hill. He's also announced nominees for top positions in his administration, including Defense Secretary and CIA Director, also a role for Elon Musk. Rachel Scott starts us off on Capitol Hill. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. President-elect Donald Trump won this election just a week ago, but he is already moving at a rapid pace to fill out his administration, announcing 14 appointments already, 9 alone yesterday. But it's his pick for Secretary of Defense that caught even some Republicans here on Capitol Hill by surprise. Overnight, President-elect Donald Trump stacking his administration with staunch loyalists, announcing a string of appointments. Trump revealing he has selected Fox and Friends weekend host Pete Hegseth for Defense Secretary. The pick even catching some Republicans off guard. The U.S. Army veteran, who has led 2 conservative veterans groups, would oversee the Pentagon and 1.3 million active duty troops. Hegseth just days ago said he doesn't believe women should be in combat roles.
I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated.
He has no government experience, but has been a staunch Trump loyalist. Hegseth called on Trump to clean house at the Pentagon, blasting its message of diversity as strength as, quote, garbage.
The Pentagon likes to say, our diversity is our strength. What a bunch of garbage. In the military, our diversity is not our strength. Our unity is our strength.
It was just one of many positions Trump named overnight. One of his biggest supporters, billionaire Elon Musk, will lead a new Department of Government Efficiency alongside entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy.
Take over, Elon, just take over.
Despite the name, the Department of Government Efficiency doesn't currently exist. Trump says it will provide advice and guidance from outside of government, but there are still questions about how exactly it would operate or be funded. Musk pitched the idea directly to Trump earlier this year.
I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things and just ensures that the taxpayer money, the taxpayers' hard-earned money, is spent in a good way. And I'd be happy to help out on such a commission.
I'd love it
if it were formed.
Musk has poured more than $100 million into helping Trump's campaign. And sources tell ABC News he has been at Mar-a-Lago nearly every day since Trump was elected, listening in on calls with foreign leaders and weighing in on staffing decisions. Musk even traveling with the president-elect this morning to Washington, D.C., ahead of Trump's meeting at the White House with President Biden. And as Trump promises to overhaul U.S. intelligence agencies, the president-elect announcing John Ratcliffe, his former director of national intelligence, who served as a fierce loyalist in Congress, will serve as CIA director. And South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem will lead the Department of Homeland Security.
Let's send President Trump back to the White House.
Trump once considered Noem a potential running mate, but she fell off the shortlist after writing in her memoir that she had shot and killed the family dog. If confirmed, Noem would manage the Secret Service, the Coast Guard, and FEMA, along with immigration agencies like Border Patrol and ICE, working hand in hand with Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, to implement Trump's mass deportations.
It is going to be a big operation. And President Trump has already indicated that he wants to start by making sure that we're deporting the most dangerous first.
And rounding out those announcements, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, who Trump says will serve as the ambassador to Israel. The president-elect saying Huckabee will work tirelessly to bring about peace in the Middle East. Just to underscore the influence of Elon Musk, sources telling us this morning he's been weighing in on staffing decisions, sitting in on interviews. We were also learning this morning that President-elect Donald Trump has really struggled with the position of Attorney General, that he has interviewed multiple candidates for that role. He's walked away unsatisfied each time. And of course, the president-elect will be strengthened and emboldened by a Republican Senate majority in just a few hours. Republicans here in the Senate will be choosing a new majority leader. The president-elect keeping his cards very close. He has not weighed in on an endorsement just yet. Michael.
All right, Rachel Scott, thank you so much for that. And we're going to turn to breaking news overnight. On Special Counsel Jack Smith, our Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has more. Good morning, Pierre.
Michael, good morning. In the coming weeks, Special Counsel Jack Smith will be putting the finishing touches on his final reports regarding the investigations of President-elect Donald Trump. The investigation centering on the alleged mishandling of classified information and Trump's role on January 6th. In all other special counsel cases launched under his tenure, Attorney General Merrick Garland has made those reports public. As we reported last week, Department of Justice guidelines mandate that a sitting president cannot be prosecuted, meaning the investigation and prosecution of Donald Trump is effectively over. Trump will not be firing Jack Smith. He and his staff are expected to resign sometime before Inauguration Day. We simply do not know the date, Rebecca.
All right, Pierre, thank you. The president-elect is set to meet with President Biden this morning. Our Chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, has the latest. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Rebecca. Well, President-elect Trump is making a victorious return to Washington today, a very different tone from when he left here 4 years ago. After huddling with House Republicans on the Hill, he will meet here in the Oval Office with President Biden, a ritual that Trump refused to participate in 4 years ago. This will be their first extended face-to-face since their debate, which, of course, ultimately led President Biden to drop out of this race. But despite their bitter rivalry, the White House is adamant that the American people need to see this, that this meeting is critical to underscoring the importance of a peaceful transition of power. As President Biden has said, this is how democracy works. Now, the president is also likely to use this opportunity to impress upon his successor several key issues, including the fight for Ukraine. Biden is likely to argue that sustaining support for Ukraine in its fight against Russia is critical for U.S. security and global stability. Now, we don't know how long the two will be meeting here in the Oval Office or who else will be present in the room. One person we do know will not be there is Vice President Kamala Harris. She did, though, return to work at the White House yesterday. She was greeted there on the driveway by cheering staff and aides. The vice president clearly moved by the moment, though she told her staff, we've got to get back to work. George.
Okay, Mary, thanks. We're returning now to the federal judge who has blocked a law that calls for the 10 Commandments to be displayed in Louisiana classrooms, saying it's unconstitutional. Senior national correspondent Terry Moran has the details. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, George. In June, Louisiana passed a law requiring that the 10 Commandments be displayed in every public school classroom in the state, from kindergarten all the way up to the state universities. And the law also required that a specific version of the 10 Commandments be used, a Protestant one from the King James Bible, not Catholic one or Jewish or Orthodox. And the law also required that what they call a context statement be displayed with the 10 Commandments, one that emphasized that the 10 Commandments were, quote, a prominent part of American education for nearly 3 centuries. So a group of parents, including Christian ministers, Jewish parents, agnostics, and atheists sued the state. They said this law usurped their role as parents and set the government up as a religious authority, thus violating their religious freedom rights. So now a federal judge, Judge John DeGravels, who was appointed by President Barack Obama, has struck down this law as unconstitutional, saying it was, quote, discriminatory and coercive, and adding that children cannot opt out of viewing the Ten Commandments when they are displayed in every classroom every day of the year, every year of their education. Louisiana Attorney General says the state will appeal this ruling, and it is bound for the Supreme Court, which decades ago struck down a very similar law from Kentucky, but this is a very different Supreme Court, one much more open to these kinds of what they call religious freedom claims. And so stay tuned on this. Michael?
Definitely a different Supreme Court there, Terry. Thank you so much. We're going to turn now to the wildfires on the East Coast. New York's governor says conditions remain dire as the dry air brings an elevated threat. Trevor All is on the scene in Greenwood Lake, New York, with the latest for us. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Michael. So a lot of people have been evacuated here for several days now, and other residents right nearby tell me they are packed up, ready to leave at a moment's notice if the wind happens to shift in their direction. I believe we have a view from up above. As you can see, some of the flames here not too far away, and that's that threat if the wind were to bring it back. There's a lot of smoke in this area, and this is the threat from just one wildfire. There are many across the Northeast, and officials are very worried about new ones continuing to spark up.
This morning, the Jennings Creek fire blazes on along the New York-New Jersey border. Roughly 8 square miles consumed with limited containment.
This is horrifying because I have nowhere to go. Where am I going to go?
New York's now under a statewide burn ban as officials try to prevent even more danger.
This fire alone has burnt 2,700 acres, and just a second fire has burnt 700 acres.
Hundreds of firefighters from 47 fire companies now on hand.
The smoke that you're seeing is burning from the interior of the fire as the activity is picking up because of the red flag conditions and the extreme dry fuels that are out there.
Those conditions stretch across the Northeast. The governor in Massachusetts urging residents to conserve water as they've had more than 500 wildfires since October, more than 10 times the usual amount. And so many communities are battling their driest fall on record. At the end of October, drought was present in every state except Alaska.
And you can see those flames burning now. The winds did ease up overnight, thankfully, but humidity is still very low. It's extremely dry, and there is no rain in the forecast here through at least the end of the week, Rebecca.
And we're just thinking about all the firefighters out there and the communities impacted. Okay, Trevor, thank you. We turn now to the investigation into what caused an explosion at a commercial facility in Louisville, Kentucky. Senior national correspondent Steve Osunsami is on the scene. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Rebecca. In a statement from the company that owns this plant, which sits directly behind these homes here, behind this fire truck, they share that 2 of their people who were hurt in this blast lost their lives. They're not sure what caused this accident. They're concerned about ammonia leaking into the air, but say that so far the tests they've taken show that the air is safe.
Explosion with smoke clouds.
Families near the explosion at this Louisville chemical plant will need to replace windows and try to calm their nerves today.
My front window blew in. My neighbor next to me, her door and her front window are both askew.
It was the middle of the afternoon when they say it felt like an earthquake. An explosion at the plant that makes food coloring forced residents from their homes. They could hear the blast for miles.
I was actually working and felt this incredible explosion. I felt it in my chest.
Authorities are worried about hazardous materials that are handled inside the facility. The place was torn to pieces. Walls of metal fell on top of rail cars outside the building.
We had one person that was pinned. We were able to get them out, rescue them, as well as assist the others in evacuation.
Nearly a dozen people were hurt.
11 individuals have been transported to local hospitals.
There were a fair amount of burn injuries, a pretty significant amount of blast injuries, as well as some crush injuries where some debris had fallen on the pavement.
This is not the first time they've seen an explosion here. There was an explosion at this same exact plant in 2003, and a massive amount of ammonia was leaked. George.
Okay, Steve, thanks. We're going to get the latest now on Spirit Airlines. The low-cost carrier is preparing for bankruptcy. Our transportation correspondent Gio Benitez is here with what this could mean for the airline and passengers. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, George. Good morning. Yeah, this all comes after reports that merger talks have broken down for the company. Spirit Airlines now filing for bankruptcy protection, but the airline insists nothing will change. Now, Spirit's saying overnight that it's been in active and constructive negotiations with note holders over the company's restructuring. The company citing much higher operating expenses this year versus last year with lower revenues, in part because Spirit and other airlines are no longer charging change and cancellation fees. Now, the Wall Street Journal reporting that another budget airline, Frontier, dropped its bid for a merger with Spirit, triggering this filing. Now, overnight, Spirit telling ABC News that this restructuring process will not have any impact on guests and that you can still book and fly with the airline like you always have. Michael?
All right, thank you so much for that, Gio. And now to trouble for genetic testing firm 23andMe. The company is laying off nearly half of its workers, and it's raising privacy concerns among customers. Ariel Resniff is here with the story. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, Michael. Revolutionary genealogy company 23andMe is planning to lay off roughly 40% of its workforce. Their CEO announcing over 200 staffers will be let go. The company also shuttering its drug development arm. The move comes after revenue dipped 12% last quarter and share prices have plummeted. Millions around the world have used 23andMe to connect to their roots, sending in their saliva, then receiving a detailed report about their DNA and their ancestry. Experts caution that because it is not a medical company, your personal information is not afforded the same privacy protection as your health records. It's considered a commercial transaction, not a medical one. Last year, 23andMe fell victim to a massive security breach, exposing roughly 6.9 million users' data, including ancestry information and personal details, paying out roughly $30 million in a settlement. With its financial future in kind of turmoil here, we reached out to 23andMe about where that leaves your DNA. The company told us they have no further comment. Guys.
All right, we'll have to learn more about that. Ariel, thank you. We turn now to breaking news on Notre Dame Cathedral's grand reopening just over 5 years after the devastating fire. Foreign correspondent Tom Soufi-Burridge is in Paris. Good morning, Tom.
Yeah, good morning, Rebecca. Real excitement here in Paris. We're now in the final countdown to the reopening of that remarkable cathedral behind me, Notre Dame. You can see the crane still in position over there, but we're now told all of the major restoration works will be finished in less than 2 weeks. We just got new details about the reopening, a huge ceremony planned for Saturday, December 7th, with the first mass scheduled for Sunday the 8th, and then the cathedral reopening its doors to the public that evening. Remember, it's been closed for 5 years after that terrible fire, so that will be a real moment. We're talking about a whole week of celebrations, including a ceremony to return the cathedral's sacred crown of thorns relic. Pope Francis is not expected at the opening ceremony, and we're still waiting to find out who will perform, so stay tuned for that. This morning, the church telling us the cathedral will be a formidable symbol of hope and unity, and that, of course, is a message which will surely resonate here in France, around the world, and of course over in the US after that bruising election. Guys?
Truly a magnificent thing to see it back to life after those 5 years. Okay, Tom, thank you. And coming up, the early Black Friday frenzy, how to make the most out of retailers' battle for your dollars.
Plus the risky strategy that can help you score a better seat on your next flight.
And new details on the upcoming trial of the man accused of killing 22-year-old nursing student Laken Riley.
Stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to GMA, and boy, what a big night in the ballroom. Celebrating the 500th episode of Dancing with the Stars. That's Pretty Little Liars star Chandler Kinney and Brandon Armstrong getting 3 perfect 10s for their instant dance. We have everything that happened on the dance floor, from the tribute dances to Ginger taking us behind the scenes. We're excited to see it all, and that is coming up.
We're looking forward to that. First, top headlines we're following right now. President-elect Trump left Mar-a-Lago this morning as he heads to the White House to meet with President Biden, then to Capitol Hill. The president-elect also announced more nominees for top positions in his administration, including his pick for Secretary of Defense, U.S. Army veteran and Fox and Friends weekend host Pete Hegseth. Also, Special Counsel Jack Smith and his staff are expected to resign sometime before President-elect Trump's Inauguration Day.
And take a look at this wild video. Phoenix police rescued a man after he drove into a pool. The officer jumped on top of the car, smashing the sunroof and pulling the driver to safety. Thank goodness.
Wow, thank goodness. What video that is. And we've got a lot more ahead, including comedian John Mulaney on how his wife Olivia Munn Olivia Munn helped him get sober. That is all coming up, George.
Right now, new details on the upcoming trial of the man accused of killing 22-year-old nursing student Laken Riley, whose death sparked a fierce national debate over the Biden administration's immigration policies after investigators revealed the accused is undocumented. He waived his right to a jury trial. Faith Abube is in Atlanta. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, George. A jury selection for Jose Ibarra's murder trial was set to begin today, but that 11th hour decision now means only one person will get to decide whether he's innocent or guilty.
Jose Ibarra, the undocumented migrant charged in the brutal murder of a nursing student, in court Tuesday, opting for a judge alone to decide his fate rather than a jury trial.
Do you understand that I grant this request, it cannot be revoked by you going forward?
Authorities say he killed 22-year-old Laken Riley, who was out for a jog earlier this year on a trail at the University of Georgia. Her body found in a wooded area with visible injuries.
We lost one of the brightest lights that there's ever been.
Ibarra is facing 10 criminal counts, including murder, aggravated assault, and kidnapping. The 26-year-old suspect is from Venezuela. Federal authorities say months before Riley's murder, New York police arrested Ibarra for driving unregistered and uninsured with a child. But he was released before they could begin the process to deport him. The NYPD denies ever arresting the suspect.
He represents more than just the crime of murder, which he's being charged with. He represents a poor border policy. He represents immigration policies. And so because of that influence, the decisions that are going to be made going forward are much larger than any one homicide case usually is.
And that bench trial is scheduled to start in just 2 days. Ibarra's defense attorneys tried unsuccessfully not only to delay the start, but also to limit what evidence can be presented. Guys.
All right, Faith, thank you so much. We're going to turn now to scenes in Michigan. Nazi protesters outside where the play, The Diary of Anne Frank, was being performed. It's the latest in a rise of anti-Semitic incidents, and Rhiannon Alley is here with the story for us. Good morning, Rhiannon. This is disturbing.
Good morning, Michael. Very disturbing, and this increase is creating fear among Jewish people, both here in the U.S. and abroad, from the U.S. to Europe. Acts of hate have many on edge and wondering what's next.
This was the scene in Howell, Michigan, near Detroit. Nazi protesters outside the American Legion, which was hosting a play, The Diary of Anne Frank, about the Holocaust.
People were shocked. They were appalled.
An Army veteran posting the encounter on the Legion's Facebook page, saying he confronted the group as they shouted anti-Semitic and racial slurs.
We had 75 people downstairs that watched that play. And out of that 75, there was 50 or 60 of them that were afraid to leave this building. We had to escort them to their cars. Nobody in America should feel like that.
In upstate New York, another disturbing scene this week. Hundreds of wanted posters plastered across the University of Rochester, accusing certain staff members of ethnic cleansing and displacing Palestinians. The university says the faculty members were targeted because they're Jewish. It comes just days after 2 Jewish students at DePaul University in Chicago were physically attacked, one a reservist in the Israeli military. Police releasing images of the masked men, calling it a hate crime. The Anti-Defamation League reports a 300% increase in anti-Semitic incidents in Chicago alone over the last year. Nationwide, more than 10,000 anti-Semitic incidents have been reported since the Hamas attack on Israel last October. That's an increase of 200%.
And it's not just here in the U.S. Cases are also spiking overseas. In Amsterdam, some calm last night after riots broke out again on Monday. Days after Israeli soccer fans were attacked in the city, some Israeli soccer fans also heard chanting anti-Arab slurs. Now, there will be extra security in place for an Israeli soccer match in Paris tomorrow. Guys, Israel's even urging its citizens not to attend this.
It's so troubling that we've come to this.
Absolutely.
Okay, Rhiannon, thank you.
A look at Thanksgiving travel. It's expected to be the busiest ever, with passengers filling 36.5 million seats. And one blogger claims a strategy called check-in chicken can often get you the best seats at no extra cost. Tell us about it, Gio.
Oh, I love this name, right, George? Good morning. Yeah, all right. So let's talk about that original game of chicken. So let's say two people are driving toward each other. Who's the first to swerve? I'm guessing it's going to be me for sure. And will it be right at the last minute? Well, that's exactly how some passengers are treating airline seats, holding steady and waiting to check in just hours before the flight to get that extra legroom for free. But does it actually work? Well, let's find out.
It's 8 hours until our flight. Let's find out what seats are still available.
You've heard of the game of chicken, but what about check-in chicken?
What are we gonna get? 13C for me, 13A for you. That's extra legroom and we're both on the same row.
Chelsea Dickinson taking her TikTok followers along for the ride as she waits until just hours before the flight to select her seat, hoping that the airline offers up a premium seat for free. It's not called check-in chicken for nothing.
James, this is bad. There are just 2 seats left on the entire plane.
Chelsea says it's worked for her 9 out of 10 times on foreign carriers.
I am checking on it throughout the day and I'll wait until there are just the good seats left and that's when I choose to check in.
But is it worth the risk?
Generally speaking, the technology that U.S. airlines use is going to be better than those used by European airlines. And so you probably have a little bit less success at being able to get one of those coveted window or aisle seats by playing check-in chicken.
Now, there are some caveats here. This mostly works on budget European airlines, not U.S. carriers, and only if you're traveling solo. It's much more difficult for this to work if you're traveling with a group. So here's the thing. If you truly wait until the very last minute, there's a good chance that you'll probably be disappointed and end up right by the restroom. So if you want my advice, make sure that you've joined the airline's loyalty program, because even if you have low status, there's a chance you can choose an extra legroom seat for free. And don't sleep on that emergency row. While airlines will often sell those seats early on, if they are still empty before that flight takes off, they have to fill those seats. And so they have to give it to you for free. So that's a really good way. I think it's one of the best seats on the plane. And really, don't do this if you're traveling with a family. I mean, come on, guys. You're going to risk way too much here, unless you want to get away from the kids.
I'm really glad you reminded us of that, Gio.
I will not be playing the Hunger Games of travel when I travel with the kids. Thank you so much, Gio. Okay, we're going to turn now from holiday travel to shopping, and Elizabeth Schulze is here to steer you towards some smart savings. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Not the Hunger Games when it comes to shopping, but a little bit between the retailers, because what we are seeing right now is these deals are out earlier than ever. We know that consumers are budgeting their paychecks. They're spending a portion of every paycheck between now and the holidays toward their holiday gifts. So that's an effect of lingering inflation. And on average, overall, households expected to spend about $1,000 on those holiday gifts. That is up almost $100 compared to last year. But when you talk to retailers, they are hyper aware. The consumers are sticking to those budgets. So they're really racing to get a slice of that budget now. Another factor behind these early sales is that there is one fewer weekend to shop this year between Black Friday and Christmas. So retailers want you to go out and get your shopping done sooner.
Which is usually good news for shoppers. What are analysts telling you about where prices go later this year?
It means that you can take advantage now with some of these steep deals, but also keep in mind a couple of the items to wait for. So generally, if you have something on your list and you know that it's on sale, not a bad idea to buy it now, because popular items more likely to run out of stock. A lot of big retailers also are offering price matching. So if you see that price go down, keep your receipt. You can get your money back at this time of year. A couple of gifts to wait for. Generally, TVs, laptops, toys will see steeper discounts toward Black Friday or Cyber Monday in a couple weeks. Holiday decorations, winter clothes, they will see even bigger price cuts closer to Christmas or even New Year's, because at that point, the stores are just so eager to get that off their shelves.
I watched Michael get really excited about that one. What are some of the biggest deals you're seeing right now,
Okay,
Elizabeth?
so one place we're actually seeing a lot of deals is online through marketplaces like TikTok. So you see video influencers posting these sales where you can go on the app and actually buy through them. A lot of posts out there like this. Of course, you have your traditional retailers, Lowe's and Home Depot. They're running Black Friday events right now, savings on appliances and tools. Walmart has deals on kitchen and home goods. Amazon overnight did announce that its Black Friday week will start November 21st. So you want to look for popular items there, headphones and Amazon devices. Typically at this time of year, retailers say that most shoppers have already done about a quarter of their shopping. They've gotten a quarter of the gifts checked off their list. if you are like me and you're at 0 items, might be a good time to start looking at some of those sales.
Well, that's me. I'm at 0. It may stay there. Yeah. Hold strong, George. Hold strong. Don't give in.
Christmas Day.
Elizabeth, thank you. Gio, thank you.
It is time for our play of the day, and it's a big one, guys. We have People's Sexiest Man Alive for you, and we want to give a shout out to Mr. John Krasinski. There he is.
Go Jim Halpert.
Yes, exactly. The actor and director, of course, rose to fame playing Jim in The Office. He's gone on to write, direct, and star in the blockbuster franchise A Quiet Place. He's also known for the spy series Jack Ryan, and now what might be his biggest get ever, the coveted title of Sexiest Man Alive. Here's John telling people how it felt to hear the news.
Just immediate blackout. So the brain just turned off, actually. 0 thoughts, other than maybe I'm being punked. And then after that, it was just, it was a full surreality. That's not how I wake up usually thinking, is this the day that I'll be asked to be Sexiest Man Alive? And yet, it was the day.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was, Sean. His wife of 14 years, Emily Blunt, joked that she would wallpaper their bedroom with the cover if he won. Better get started there, Em. To see more of the men featured in People's Sexiest Man issue, pick up the new issue on newsstands nationwide Friday. I love that picture of him. He looks very comfortable in this new role.
Yes, he does. Lara, thanks for bringing us that. We'll see you back at Pop News in a minute. Coming up, Hugh Grant is here live talking about his new horror movie and a new Bridget Jones movie and more.
Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Overnight, President-elect Trump announcing more new picks for his administration, including U.S. Army veteran Fox host Pete Hegseth as defense secretary, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, plus the role Elon Musk will play.
Take over, Elon. Just take over.
As Trump is set to meet with President Biden at the White House this morning. John Mulaney's sobriety journey. The comedian shares how wife Olivia Munn got involved while she was 6 months pregnant. Her mini intervention. How it still helps him now.
Dollar store recipe hacks.
An appetizer, an entree, 2 sides, and a dessert, all for $20.
Tips to making meals on a budget from weeknight recipes to Thanksgiving.
On the road again.
Oh, we can't wait to show you where Robin is.
We're in the disco era here in Vancouver.
On the set of the new movie celebrating the Queen of Disco.
And we're going behind the scenes of the 500th episode of Dancing with the Stars.
This is what I remember. Full audience, all the lights, that background music, and the anticipation.
Ginger's back in the ballroom and showing off her moves on a perfect 10 of a night. As Dwight Howard and Daniela join us live, as they say.
Good morning, America. Wake up. Get up.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA.
Good morning, America. Good morning, those two. A lot of energy, and they were really some of the favorites in the ballroom. And it was a night in the ballroom last night. Couples doing spins on some all-time favorite dances. And so many celebrities returned to the show, including our girl Ginger.
Oh, Ginger, and she's going to take us behind the scenes for all the fun. She's there with Dwight Howard and his partner Daniela.
That is coming up. First look at the top stories breaking at 8. We start with the latest on President-elect Trump as he heads to the White House this morning to meet with President Biden. Then to Capitol Hill. He's also announced nominees for top positions in his administration. I want to go back to Rachel Scott. Good morning, Rachel.
Hey, George, good morning to you again. Yeah, we moved across from the Capitol complex over here outside of this hotel because this is where President-elect Donald Trump is currently huddling with House Republicans behind closed doors. He traveled here to Washington, D.C., touching down not too long ago with a team of advisors, but also with billionaire Elon Musk. And this comes as the president-elect is moving quickly to fill out his administration. One of his picks catching many Republicans off guard, his pick for Secretary of Defense. Trump choosing Fox and Friends weekend host Pete Hegseth. The U.S. Army veteran would oversee the Pentagon and 1.3 million active duty troops. But just days ago, Hegseth said he doesn't believe women should be in combat roles, saying it, quote, hasn't made us more effective and has made fighting more complicated. Trump also announcing that one of his biggest supporters, who is joining him here today, billionaire Elon Musk, will lead a new Department of Government Efficiency alongside entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy. It's unclear just how exactly that department is going to be operated or how it will be funded. He also announced another ally. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem will be selected to lead the Department of Homeland Security. So what is clear is that Trump is stacking his administration, his cabinet, with loyalist people that have defended him. And of course, after he wraps up here with this meeting, he heads over to the White House for that one-on-one, face-to-face meeting with President Biden. Rebecca.
A lot ahead. Okay, Rachel, thank you. We turn now to the Idaho murders case. Students at the University of Idaho will hold a vigil tonight to mark 2 years since 4 students were found murdered in their off-campus apartment as the suspect awaits trial. We spoke to the mother of Kaylee Gonzalez overnight.
It's just been a standstill, like a total just standpoint. I feel like we just weren't getting anywhere.
Ethan Chapin's family also telling ABC News 2 years have passed, and while that seems like a long time ago, it also feels like yesterday. We continue to heal and miss Ethan. As they miss Ethan, they work diligently to find silver linings. In the 2 years since his murder, the Ethan Smile Foundation has provided over $50,000 in scholarships. And Michael, you just feel for these families.
Yeah, and they're trying to make some good out of an awful situation. Yeah. All right, thank you, Rebecca. We're going to turn now to a key inflation report. Elizabeth Schulze is back with the details. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Hey, Michael, and this report does give us a critical look at the progress on inflation and possible roadblocks on the path toward lower prices. Inflation was up 2.6% in October from 1 year ago. That is worse than the 2.4% rate in September, which was a 3-year low. The Federal Reserve wants to see inflation around 2%, and we are close to that target. The Fed is expected to stay the course with another interest rate cut next month. But no doubt, there are still a lot of places where prices are going up faster than they normally would in a healthy economy. Rent prices are up nearly 5% in the past year still. Daycare and preschool costs up 6%, and car insurance is up 14%. In welcome news for those day-to-day expenses, gas prices are down about 30 cents in the last year. The national average could possibly dip below $3 a gallon in the next couple of months, Michael.
That'd be some good news. All right, thank you so much for that, Elizabeth. Coming up in our GMA morning menu, comedian John Mulaney on getting sober and how his wife Olivia Munn helped him with a mini intervention.
Also ahead, how to make healthy meals on a budget using only ingredients you can find at dollar stores.
And Tori's here with great deals and steals on gifts for kids. They start at just $9. Lara, 2 special guests today.
I am so happy, George. We have something for everyone, for every movie lover this morning. Hugh Grant is with us, everybody. He stars in a heart-stopping horror movie. We're going to get into that. It's called Heretic. And then Auli'i Cravalho is warming hearts again as Moana. We're going to hear all about their movies and more coming up on Good Morning America. Stay with us.
We are back with our GMA cover story. Comedian John Mulaney is sharing new details about his recovery from drugs and alcohol and the so-called mini intervention by his wife Olivia Munn. Will Reeves joins us with the story. Good morning, Will.
Good morning there, Michael. John Mulaney has long been an open book about his personal life. He makes it funny, but his struggles have been real. And now, on the occasion of being named GQ's Man of the Year, he's sharing how his wife Olivia Munn has helped him in his sobriety.
GQ magazine's Man of the Year, John Mulaney, getting deep about his sobriety in a revealing new interview. The comedian credits his wife, Olivia Munn, with helping keep the guardrails on in recovery, which began 4 years ago when he entered rehab for addiction to cocaine and other substances, then relapsed and was sent back to rehab after an A-list intervention.
During the intervention, at one point I went, "Oh, is there a car downstairs?" And they went, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, my God."
Mulaney and Munn connected after Mulaney's second attempt at sobriety stuck. Munn telling GQ, "It was like watching a man in a tsunami. I was watching someone newly sober at the edge of a cliff, and I didn't know him well enough to help him." Mulaney later admitting he was afraid of relapse. At one point, Munn even staging a mini intervention when she was about 6 months pregnant with their first child, subjecting Mulaney to drug tests, which he calls a relief, saying, "I like to be able to not even have that be a question in her or anyone else's mind. Mulaney has been open about his addictions, often using comedy to humanize his struggles, even spotlighting them in his award-winning specials.
I started doing drugs when I was 14.
Paying attention to a new way of life is really important when we're supporting a partner during recovery. A support system gives us the courage to tackle really sometimes our biggest fears that we don't even know how we can overcome.
What a comeback. And Mulaney will be heading to Broadway next month for a 5-week run in a show called All In Comedy About Love. It's a really revealing profile here.
Sure looks like it.
He opens up and he makes a lot of people laugh.
Yeah, happy for him.
Yes. Thank you, Will. We're going to turn now to Dancing with the Stars. The show celebrated its 500th episode last night. Ginger was back in the ballroom after her star turn on season 22. She takes us behind the scenes. Hey, Ginger.
Hey, what a night, George. Oh, the ballroom's a little chilly this morning and quiet. They haven't even picked up all of the confetti. But what a night. Dancing with the Stars' 500th episode does what it does best. It made us laugh. It made us beam with joy. It made us cry as we're going to talk to these two beautiful people who ended their journey. But boy, what a legacy show. And here's how it all went down. Come in.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so much more ready than I was just moments ago.
Sequence.
Yes.
My
Let's
favorite.
Go.
Let's go.
The mirror ball is waiting. I didn't win it, but now I've got it on.
So good to be home again.
My girl, Jill.
How are you, Ginger? How are you?
I remember what you had and I like very much.
Oh.
Is your touch.
Oh, did I?
Ah, you see?
Yours is better than mine.
That is hot weather.
The Stars feeling the heat for the 500th episode.
It's a big episode, but huge. We're very excited. Like, no extra pressure.
No,
like,
you extra pressure, let's be honest.
This is really so special to be here for such a milestone.
Backstage, I had to check one thing off my list.
Sam, that is how you do it.
Well done.
Now, into the ballroom.
This is what I remember. Full audience, all the lights, that background music, and the anticipation.
The night full of excitement on the dance floor.
That kind of encompasses what 500 episodes is. That's what 500 episodes is. It's one of these emotional, feel-good moments to celebrate the love.
Yours truly getting to share the love.
And I'm so proud to be a small, small part of what has been the fabric of this show, all of these great people.
Carrie Ann, a big night of tens. After nabbing the first 10 of the season weeks earlier and reaching new heights, Dwight Howard and Daniela's journey coming to an end.
Oh, I had an amazing experience. Daniela's an amazing partner.
How lucky are we? Dwight and Daniela woke up super early so that we could see them, even though you were super sad last night. We're so grateful to have you both. And I know it's the end of the road, but I loved that you put on social media, you said just a couple of weeks ago, we were strangers, and now we're best friends.
We are.
How much are you going to miss Daniela?
I'm going to miss her so much. I'm going to miss her saying, let's go, Dwight, another round, another one. But no, I had so much fun. I really enjoyed myself. And this is an amazing, I don't know how long it was, like what, 2 months?
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Makes
real
sense.
amazing 2 months. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about dancing and all the different styles and stuff like that. And it was really fun. It was really fun.
Daniela, congratulations, first of all, also on the choreography of last night's Open.
Thank you.
That's pretty special with your husband,
Yes.
Tasha. So tell me, you know, I know this has been like harped on because of the height difference and whatever, but last night we got to see it again. You overcame so much. What's the secret?
Her brain, she's smart.
She's
That's what it is.
Just love a challenge, you know? I love when people say you can't do it, and that just makes me want to do it even more.
I wanted to have that box out here so we could both be dancing with you. So you said you're ready to go back to the NBA. Has dancing prepped you for that?
Well, you know, it's just really prepped me for life. You know, being a partner, you know, being able to communicate. Actually dancing through life, it felt like this whole moment was like a journey and a part of my life where it just taught me so many great things. And actually Daniela was there for me in a lot of areas that, you know, only she could be there for me. You
I've
know,
said that
and
too, right?
it's crazy.
And that's it. People don't understand what that feels like, but there's something in the core of you that changes a bit when you
Yes.
get this experience.
Yes.
I love to hear that from you, Daniela. If you maybe this is a little more surface, but you did get to go to your first basketball game because
did.
Dwight brought you.
It was pretty cool.
Has
It
that
was pretty
changed
cool.
in you? Will you be attending more basketball games in future?
I don't know. If they keep giving me basketball players, then probably.
We are really grateful that both of you woke up early, and I know we don't have to do any more lifts right now, but I'm
No.
sure you'll be lifting each other up through life.
Yes, yes. So thank you everyone for watching us. Good morning, America.
Yeah.
We had such an amazing time on the show. Thank you guys. Daniela is the best. If y'all need someone to whip y'all in shape, get y'all right for life, call Danny.
Don't call me.
So good to have you. All of you, don't miss Dancing with the Stars. The semifinals are next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on ABC, guys.
Oh, what a great spirit they had. Thank you, Ginger.
He was so fun to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
Wishing
Really
him
was.
the very best.
Absolutely.
I know he's sad to go. We are
We
sad
are
to see
sad
him.
not to watch him.
He's
Entertain him.
hilarious. All right, should we do some pop news?
Yeah.
We have a
Yeah.
lot to talk about. We're going to begin, everybody, with one of the great actors of our time taking his final bow. Two-time Academy Award winner Denzel Washington has announced his plan to retire from acting. The 70-year-old opening up to an Australian morning show saying that he has a strategy in place for the end of his career. Don't worry, just listen.
I don't know how many more films I'm going to make. It's probably not that many. I'm about to play Othello at 70. After that, I'm playing Hannibal. After that, I've been talking with Steve McQueen about a film. After that, I'm going to do the film Othello. After that, I'm going to do King Lear. After that, I'm going to retire.
All right, so I counted 5 projects.
That's quite a lineup.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is quite a lineup. But at least we get a few more on-screen years with our friend, the acting legend. Washington took home his first Oscar win thanks to the 1989 Civil War epic Glory. His second was for Training Day in 2001. He's a Tony Award winner. He's also received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And, by the way, guys, he is stopping by our studio next Friday to tell us about his latest project. It's called The Piano Lesson. And, a little film that you might have heard of called Gladiator 2.
Can't wait.
That's going to be
Supposed to be
great.
incredible. So congratulations on everything to you. We'll see you soon. All right, let's talk about Gloria Gaynor, shall we? Robin is on assignment with the I Will Survive singer on the set of the biopic on Gaynor's life. It's being made by Robin's production company, Rockin' Robin. And here's Robin talking with Joaquina Kalukango, the actress taking on the title role. Take a look.
What has been most rewarding in stepping into the shoes of the queen of disco, Gloria?
Probably just realizing her ability to overcome so many situations and finding that empowerment in myself has been inspiring, and knowing that so many people over the world gravitate to her music for that, to give them inspiration and power.
It's an anthem.
It is
I will
truly an
survive. And you're the wigs, the costume, all of it. You're bringing it. We're in the disco era here in Vancouver.
We will all know her name when this
yeah.
film comes out. It's set to tell Gaynor's story of survival and success. With a career spanning 50 plus years, Robin will have more from her set visit in the coming weeks. I Will Survive, the Gloria Gaynor story, premieres on Lifetime in 2025. What a story to tell.
And what an anthem.
Right.
That one just gets you.
We all know all the words, even this guy. All right, finally, everybody, with the CMA Awards just 1 week away, they have revealed that George Strait will receive this year's Willie Nelson Lifetime Achievement Award. Strait is known as the King of Country. He's got 60 #1 singles, 33 platinum albums, 3 CMA Entertainer of the Year awards. He's also the most nominated artist in CMA history with 83 nods and 17 wins. The CEO of the CMA explained their choice, saying Strait is unlike any other. There are a few other artists as authentically Texas and as authentically country as this man. Congratulations to you, George Strait. The 58th Annual CMA Awards are coming up next Wednesday night right here on ABC. We'll be there, guys.
Oh, yeah, joined by a lot of greats as well. Thank you so much, Lara.
All right, should we do some deals and steals? Tori Johnson, let's go. It's all about gifting for the holiday season. And we're going to look at toys for kids because, of course, we are.
Of course we are. So we're starting with one that's great for teens and adults. This is the 3Doodler. It is probably the easiest to use 3D pen that is going to open up an entirely new world for you for drawing, crafting, building structures.
It's amazing.
Look at that. From a dress to an Eiffel Tower to it's easy enough for me to even make you a little heart.
Oh, thank you,
I made you that heart
Tori.
that we're going to put on a cord so that you could have a little necklace there. All you do is you plug it in, you insert the filament, let it heat up, and then you can go and you can use it either freehand, you can use stencils, so many different amazing things. This entire piece, the entire flower is made from this. It is unbelievably fun, smart, great alternative to screen time. 50% off today, $40.
Awesome,
really smart.
awesome.
Okay.
This is just
precious. It is precious. We're moving to Slumberkins. Look at this little honey bear right here. So sweet. This is all about helping kids with caring, confidence, resilience. It was created by a therapist and a special ed teacher.
Cozy.
Yeah, it's cozy too. To be able to help kids to develop those really important social emotional skills.
Yep.
So to be able to express issues of self-confidence, to be able to get comfortable with bedtime routines, addressing separation anxiety, but really helping them to feel good and confident about themselves and the ability to articulate and share that. It is so smart, and it's all 50% off today, starting at $15. And come on, it's really cuddly.
I don't
want
to let him go, but I will.
All right, Lug, these are real guitars. You could pick that one up. Real guitars, real wood, real beautiful sounds. There's
if
training
you know how to use it.
if you know how to use it, but even if you don't, these start as young as 3 years old to be able to help kids to get comfortable and curious about music. So introducing them young to the Beatles, Prince, punk rock, whatever it is. It comes with flashcards that really help to be able to learn, as well as access to an app for video lessons, tuner, digital songbook. And this really is all about inspiring a love of music at a very early age. Hand them a guitar instead of a screen, and you'll be happier long term. These are all 50% off today.
Well,
this kind of noise is better than an inability to take away a phone from somebody.
Agreed.
All right, Little Lemons Company. Personalized gifts are always a hit, and they always fit. We've got really beautiful blankets, puzzles, ornaments. That stocking back there, look how cute that is. That stocking, so you put a kid's name on it. It's durable, it's fun, it's soft. They're gonna have it for years. These are just delightful, and I love the prices from this company too. All of the options at 50% off are $9 to $27.
Well done, Tori.
It's a good one.
Let's build, shall we?
Okay, so this is a company that has been around for more than 90 years, like creating. So this is like a serious, immersive play set, a dinosaur play set that does all kinds of really fun things. But one of the things they're best known for is their horse collection.
Yes, that's what we have.
That is what they are so known for. So it's all about, this is about inspiring a love of animals at a young age. Everything 50 to 61% off, and you get to have fun sounds with it too.
Get shopping,
and then
everybody.
Finally, Keens, we are talking about, this is like the Rolls Royce of stroller wagons. 4 kids in this one, 2 kids in the other one there. Go ahead, go crazy. You can see how comfortable that is. It comes with all of the safety features. There's a harness built in. This is a fabulous one, and it's 50% off.
Tori, these are fantastic. There is something for everybody here. We've partnered with these companies. Thank you, guys. Check out our website. Oh, and by the way, Hugh Grant is up next. Stay with us.
Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
And it's great to welcome back Hugh Grant, the star of so many hits like 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Notting Hill, Love Actually, and now he's getting rave reviews in the new horror movie Heretic. Welcome back to GMA. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I like how you describe this time in your career, the freak show period.
It has become that. I didn't plan it that way necessarily, but that's how it's come out, yeah. I do freaks, weirdos, killers, mass murderers, cult leaders, Oompa Loompas.
What are you playing in Heretic? Tell us about the movie.
Well, it's somewhere between a horror film and a psychological thriller, and it's 2 Mormon girls, missionaries, going house to house in Colorado, and then they come to this house, and a very nice man answers the door who seems very interested in what they have to say and invites them in. They say, well, can we can only come in if there's a lady present. I say, that's fine, my wife's here. She's cooking a blueberry pie, come on in. And they get in, and then gradually, in little increments, they realize things are not at all as they seem.
They don't smell a blueberry pie.
They do smell blueberry pie. And actually, in some of our early screenings, the audience smelled blueberry pie as well. We did smell-o-vision.
Really?
Yeah, we brought that back. I was in one of those screenings. I can't say it was a big success. It actually smelt more of Cheap Taxi than Bluebird Fire.
Good effort, though.
Yeah, good effort.
But you do play a pretty villainous character. How do you tap into the dark side?
With ease. The older I've got, the more children I've had, the darker I've become as a human being. And I don't know. I've always liked that side of life. I think audiences like that side of life. I mean, I don't know why. Throughout history, they've been drawn to the bad guy. Maybe that's the real us. I don't want to get heavy on Good Morning America.
We find it wildly entertaining, actually. Love having you here, and I want to show everybody a clip. So you play this diabolical Mr. Reed, and you sort of set it up. You're at home, and these two missionary girls, Mormon girls, come to your door.
Yeah.
And let's find out what happens next, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, the front door won't open again.
It opened when we came in.
Yeah.
Maybe if you unlock it, it will open?
No, I understand what you're asking me, but the deadbolts are on a timer. I got carried away with our conversation. I didn't realize the brace had been set. I should have pulled the pin when you came in, but I forgot. So if you are now regrettably ready to leave, you'll have to exit through the back of my house.
Ooh,
There's a chill.
My.
He's very unwell.
Do I dare ask you, what happens in real life if people come to your door?
I think I'm charming to them.
You answer it.
Oh, yes. No, I think I'm not. There was a time when I was a kid when a man came to the front door. My mother answered and he flashed her. You have flashes here? Wow. You know? The coat opened. Yes. And I remember it well because my mother was a little bit shocked, and there was a very nice cleaning lady working in the house at the time who said, "You better sit down and have a cup of coffee." She sat my mother down and she said, "They're nasty looking things at the best of times."
Oh boy! Well, we did not see that answer come.
Right, that story was so close to the surface.
Hey, I want to switch gears and talk about another role that we all love.
Yeah.
You're going back to familiar territory soon with Bridget Jones, with the new Bridget Jones.
Yeah.
And you've said that this is extremely moving. This one, this one, you were maybe didn't start out thrilled with the script, but you came to really
I always
love
thought the script was superb, the best.
Oh, it was your part.
Yeah, well, it's all about me. They wanted some Daniel in it because Colin Firth has died by now. Actually, strictly speaking, I'm dead in this film, but I seem to have come back to life. But Colin is dead, and we do see him, but in flashbacks. So he's in the movie, I want to say that. But yeah, the script was wonderful. It's based on Helen Fielding's book, all about a boy. What was it called?
Mad About the Boy.
Mad About the Boy. Thank you. Which really is her own story of how her husband did die, and she had to bring up her children as a single mother. So, although it's very funny and Bridgety, it's also very moving in places.
It's getting a lot of buzz, as is the Heretic. It's an exciting time to be Hugh Grant, I guess.
Well, yeah, weirdly at 64. It shouldn't be, but yeah, I agree.
And another thing you're working on early this week, Paul King, director, he said that Wonka 2 is happening. You mentioned playing an Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just curious. And you talked about your kids too. So what did your kids think when they saw Dad as a Oompa Loompa?
My kids are all right. It's my wife I worry about. Because she was previously married to quite a sort of sporty, well, very sporty, a ski champion. Now she's married to an Oompa Loompa. I think
that's tough.
That's tough for any lady.
That's what you call a glow up.
Is it?
I am going to save Hugh Grant and say Heretic is in theaters right now.
Now with our new series, Big Thanks. The countdown to Thanksgiving is on, and this morning we are breaking down how you can save money by shopping for your holiday meal at dollar stores.
Let's talk about some foods at Dollar Tree that are an amazing quality and price.
With over 1.5 million followers on TikTok, at Dollar Tree Dinners creator Rebecca Chobat uses her account to provide money-saving tips.
At $1.25 per item, you can get an insane amount of variety
and recipes.
These 3-ingredient bacon-wrapped pineapple skewers are the perfect addition.
For people looking to make healthy, convenient meals on a tight budget using only ingredients you can find in dollar stores.
I try to share meals that are prepared in under 30 minutes, that are under $10 to make. I get things like pasta, I get smoked sausage, frozen vegetables, even dried beans, dry rice, instant mashed potatoes. There actually is quite a decent grocery selection, but I do think that some people would be kind of challenged with the prospect of not being able to access fresh meat and fresh produce.
But when many of these stores lack in fresh produce and meats, she gets creative.
I do rely really heavily on the frozen vegetables. I often show recipes using things like the canned chicken as a form of protein. If you're willing to be a little bit flexible on it, you can still have a really great meal.
Even making holiday meals, including Thanksgiving.
So they've got stuffing mix. They also have this roasted turkey gravy, which is so good. Canned yams are cheaper here. I try to do pretty much every holiday that I can, and I'll put together a themed $20 dinner that usually includes an appetizer, an entree, 2 sides, and a dessert, all for $20.
Her biggest challenge? Knowing when to pivot, like she had to do with the main entree, choosing deli ham because there was no turkey.
This made 4 really hefty servings, so I'm happy about that. The inventory is a bit like a revolving door. Things come in, things go out. I'm always talking about what I might do differently, but at the same time, I do try to keep things in a really optimistic and uplifting perspective.
I really enjoy this.
And we really enjoy your approach, Rebecca. Thank you. And you can get that recipe and more by scanning the QR code. And guys, Rebecca's one-pot spaghetti, that cost her just $8.75.
Wow.
And that video has more than 10 million views right now on
reason.
TikTok.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
indeed.
really smart.
Yep.
And delish.
Yes.
We're excited to have our next guest in the studio with us. Ali'i Carvalho wowed us as the voice of Moana in the first movie 8 years ago. And now she is back in Moana 2. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. Great to see you. And you know, in the first Moana, you were only 14 when you did that. So now you're 24. And what is it like to do this now with an adult perspective?
You know, I was 14 when I was cast. I turned 24 in just a week. So a full decade has passed, 8 years since our first film came out, and that's almost a whole generation. So to know that Moana has impacted children and parents alike, because let's face it, I think parents watch the movie just as many times as their kids.
Yes, I'm guilty.
It feels so lovely to know that we've made an impact on that many people.
You definitely have. And we got a clip of you in a movie, you're Moana and her little sister. So let's take a look.
You were gone forever. It was 3 days, but I missed you every... What did you bring me? Bring you? You said you'd bring me a present. Huh. Well, let me see. Whoa. What's it do? What's it?
You're over here smiling, you're laughing. This movie's got to be good. I'm watching your reaction, which makes me even more excited to see the rest of it. And the music from the first movie was amazing. And from what we've heard about from the second Moana 2, it seemed to be incredible as well. So do you have a favorite song from the Moana 2?
Oh, to have to choose just one?
Just one.
I have a really special place in my heart for We're Back. It's the first song that we hear in this movie. It is so reminiscent of the world of Motunui that we know and love. But Barlow and Bear, our new music team, knocked it out of the park with this entire soundtrack. I love that it is so full of life. We have those Disney bops that we know and love, but we also have a few pop touches in there, and Moana has aged since our first film, and I feel like I've gotten to also age up and do a few more fun riffs.
And speaking of aging up, Broadway.
Yes.
Sally Bowles, Cabaret, congratulations for you. And how's that going for you?
Whew, Broadway is kicking my butt.
It's a lot of work.
It is, and I'm really, really grateful. It is truly an honor to get my butt kicked by Broadway, and I love every second of it. The two characters couldn't be more different, but I've also been looking for a character that I can really sink my teeth into, and I really am. I manifested the heck out of that one. I descend into madness every night with Cabaret. And it also feels so current. We touch on themes of fascism and sexism and a woman having the right over her own body and choosing what she wants to do. And it feels so incredibly timely. So I'm grateful for the show.
It must be pretty amazing to be in the sound booth doing a Moana character and to be in Moana, and then you're on stage in front of people. There's no hiding.
That's entirely true. It's two very different mediums. I act like a little gremlin in the booth, just enjoying, don't have to memorize a single word. And then on stage, it feels like the final boss. What do I do with my hands? What do I do with my hands? Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
and I know you mentioned your birthday's coming up next week. Happy birthday, a little early, and I'm right behind you, actually. But happy birthday. You're going to get a chance to spend time with your family, or some part of it with your family at the premiere of Moana 2. You told them bring snacks.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of snacks do you like?
I'm here in New York, and you folks put weird things in your poke bowls. I don't know why you're putting mango. I don't know why you're putting fried onions. Just give me good fresh fish and rice with some furikake or nori on top. I'm going to be happy.
All right.
Yeah.
Parents, y'all got it. Birthday girl, that's what she wants when she shows up at the premiere. Congratulations on everything. It's great to have you here, and enjoy Broadway.
Thank you so much. I
All
appreciate
right.
it.
Crushing it out there. Moana 2 will be in theaters on November 27th. I don't even need to tell you to check it out because I know you are just that good. And coming up, we have the cast of Tammy Faye on Broadway with their first ever TV performance. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. The music of Elton John is back on Broadway in the new show, Tammy Faye. It opens tomorrow night at the newly refurbished Palace Theater. Here for their first TV performance, please welcome the cast of Tammy Faye singing Light of the World.
Friends, this land was built on the Bible, a church in every community binding us together. But your own services are emptier than before. Well, within the problem is the solution. My fellow brothers, in Jesus' name, I don't mean to raise an alarm, but take a good look round, cause our numbers are down. The churches are losing what's left of their charm. Still I keep preaching that rock up a hill, but every congregation's the same. They'd rather sit at home watching TV alone, so we might as well get in on the game. Now listen, a brand new day is on the horizon to spread his word, whatever the means. I know a way we can open their eyes, we'll save their souls through TV screens. Yes, the light of the world is electric. Let it shine in mankind's eyes. We'll sing God's songs with the cameras on. We'll show them a thing they can visualize. My friends, welcome to the age of the electric church.
Hey there, Mr. Billy, sir. This sounds so exciting. God could reach our civilization.
Young lady, sit on down. We've got a man talking now. Oh, here's the face of a new generation. If Coke can teach the world to sing,
then we can teach the world to pray.
It's time that we explore channels just for the Lord, cause TV's never going away. Now, the Lord has told me it's gonna take patience to turn around this secular tide. You don't have to be in church no more, but I wanna see your faces on the TV guide. Oh, the light of the world is yours for the taking, so get up on that tube and be that history worth making. Lights, camera, action, the future is ours. God wants us preachers to be TV stars. The light of the world is electric. Let it shine in mankind's eyes. We'll cast a net through the TV set. that show them the faith they can visualize. We'll cast a net through the TV set. It's time they acquired a brand new
Big thanks to the cast of Tammy Faye on Broadway for a terrific performance.
Have a great day.